We've been in business for 29 years, and for the last 15 years, we've had the pleasure of representing Dallas Children's Theater.
The national touring program of the Dallas Children's Theater reaches every region of the United States. They perform in rural areas and in the major metropolitan cities across the country. In doing this work, they reach the underserved audiences and the audiences in metropolitan areas that set the standard for quality in children's theater throughout the whole country.
Our company represents many national and international theater companies every year. What we find remarkable is that year after year, presenters and audiences alike are moved by Dallas's performances and ask for them to return to their communities.
They're providing work for young audiences that inspires and engages, that does not just distract. In returning year after year to the communities where they perform, they're becoming a part of the cultural life of those towns, and in doing so, they're becoming a major part of the American theater.
I started here when I was about 5 or 6, and I started taking classes. I wouldn't talk at all. I remember taking the classes when I was, I don't know, like 8, 9, and so we started doing tap classes. I always really liked the tap because we got to wear the tap shoes and make noise. As a teacher, I think that when a parent comes up to you and says, wow, my child just really loved your class, you know, that makes me feel so special, because that's not something that I would get to experience otherwise. And when they wouldn't talk when we first started, but when we ended, she was having fun and she could talk to me, she could talk to her friends. I think that was really special.
Being dyslexic isn't easy, but it's also not something that is a huge barrier in my life anymore. The more we incorporate theater with schools, just the better life will be. I think traditional classroom settings is just something that isn't realistic. You have to get out and learn and move and feel and experience, and I think that the theater is definitely the place to do that.
We honor childhood and give children an opportunity through working on an art form, through working on theater. I'd love for the kiddos to have a good time doing the work. Doing the work of creating the play, doing the work of singing, learning the songs and the dances, doing the work of lining up backstage and being quiet and then coming on stage and having your moment. With elementary age kiddos, we do a make play program where we say to them on the first day, you can be anybody you want. Who do you want to be? This is a very informed and strategic creative choice that the children make. Who do they want to be? And then, what do you want to say? What do you want to do? What does your character say in the play? As they get older, the plays get more intricate and the children have a lot more to say about the plot. So it's really a creative writing experiment and an exercise that gets to be acted out.
Carl comes in and meets with the grade level teams, and then they talk about what is it the kids are struggling with. What is a concept or skill that we need to go deeper with. And so he supports the curriculum, and then he makes it come alive through the theater, through singing and dancing and acting. So the kids, you know, you don't forget the ABCs because you sing the song. You don't forget the It's a Busy Spider because you sing it, you act it out. So when the kids learn a concept through acting and singing, it just solidifies and helps go deeper with what the concept or skill that they need to learn. Look at going into business nowadays. It's not just, I can do my math, I do my science. You have to be creative and think differently. The arts provides that creativity, whether it's visual arts, performing arts, theater arts, dance, music, singing, orchestra. That taps into a different part of the brain. And what we what I think is most important is that kids are well-rounded and they're exposed to many different experiences. And if they only think of one way to do something, they're not going to be competitive in the workforce. They have to be able to think differently, think outside the box. And I think the arts is what, more people get fired for their inability to get along than job performance. And I think when you're a part of a group and you're learning to do things differently and accepting different ways of doing things, it makes you a better human, it makes you a better adult, it makes you, just a better person in general.
The school day really now goes to 5 or 6. So many working parents, so many parents who cannot get to pick up their kids at 3 or 3:15. Children need to be engaged after school, and we go to the school, to the child, and we send the very same teachers that teach in our academy here, trained, professional, adult people who care about children and understand the importance of theater and what theater can do for these kiddos.
I was on the PTA board, and as we have our different fundraisers, always the Dallas Children's Theater is #1 at the top of the list, and it's like, okay, let's fund the Dallas Children's Theater, and then after that, this is what we have left, and then deciding what to do. But the Dallas Children's Theater has always just been our top priority when we have money, and even when times were tight, we still made sure that we were going to have the money to be able to fund this program.
There are many, many children in the school district who need us and who can benefit from theater. Not that they're going to become an actor one day, but again, that they can look inside, find their own creative force, and try something new.
It'd be criminal for business people not to invest in art education, because that's going to be that person who has the exposure, that child who has the exposure for these creative problem solving. Because really, when you're acting and you're in the arts, you're creative problem solving. They may be the person that takes over 3M one day. It's that being able to think differently and think out of the box. But I think that to a business community, I would say in order to invest in your company, you need to invest in the arts. Because those are going to be your future people you're going to hire.
They have such a variety of plays at the theater that a family can bring any age child to different plays and they'll be right on.
When we talk about spending entertainment dollars that may be available, this has been such a great investment for us, especially the discounted tickets for the season ticket holders. The idea that you're really stepping into that children's book, that storybook opportunity, that they may not have ever experienced in other theater settings.
And a principal one time said to me, she was watching The Rough-Faced Girl, and the girl who was kind of the leading part in that show was just up there shining. And the principal, who's a very intuitive, wonderful principal, said, "I never knew this child could do that. I never knew that she had this in her." And because our teacher didn't have any predisposition toward this child, she got the part. That was the part she wanted, and she was amazing. And so theater can afford these opportunities for you to be the best person that you are. And I see it every day.